Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words, become much more articulate. In today's episode, we're entering the land of social skills, and I'm going to be talking about the law of duality. One quote that we hear a lot is that it's impossible to be loved by everyone. Eventually, as you scale, what's going to happen is that there's going to be certain people that begin to hate you. But what doesn't get talked about enough is the exact opposite of this quote, which is no matter how hated you are, there's always going to be a group of people that love you. And I'll tell you a story about one of the first times that I realized this strange little duality. Every now and then, what used to happen roughly around 2020 to early 2021 was every now and then I wasn't feeling creatively inspired. So I was thinking, what am I going to post on YouTube today? I don't really have anything to say. So I would go to this channel. The lady's name is Sue. The reason that I know Sue is because she used to be a part of the same Toastmasters club that I was in. She was roughly in her 70s at the time. And she was a very sweet lady. And the reason that she stuck out was because she was recording the speeches in the Toastmasters club. And I would go to Sue's channel after I just got done giving a speech to see how I did. And just looking back at it nowadays, I'm like, I really was very choppy at that time. But that's a good problem to have. If you're not cringing at your old work, that means you're not creating enough. So in 2020 to early 2021, I would every now and then go to Sue's channel. I would see a few of the old school speeches I did in Toastmasters. I would grab one of the speeches and I would post it on my YouTube channel. And the reason that I like to do this is because it just shows me how far I've come. And one day, as I was going through the database, I saw one particular talk that I gave that I completely forgot about. This was a table topics speech. Now, if you're new to Toastmasters, table topics is when you're giving an impromptu talk. For this particular meeting, the table topics master, the person who chooses the topics, had a theme to work with. The theme was in regards to history. So let's call this guy John. John is choosing different members from the club to give a talk on one of the topics that he chose. And eventually, it comes to a point where he's like, there is a certain group of people that denied that the Holocaust has ever happened. What would you say to these people? Arman. So that was my topic. And I'm thinking, man, bro, like this is a very dark topic. And for table topics speeches, you have zero time to prepare. Like you literally just have to get up on stage and give the talk right there. And I was watching back on this speech and I was, from the gist of this talk, I was just like, listen guys, if you don't think that the Holocaust has happened, then you are sorely mistaken because there's a whole bunch of evidence that proves that it happened. That was the gist of the talk. But as I was watching myself back, clearly I was unsure of what to say because I wasn't that informed on the matter. I didn't even know that there was a large group of people that thought the Holocaust never happened. And after I got done giving the talk, I got a round of applause. I was like, oh, okay, I got the applause. That means I did good. I walk off stage with my chest out. I sit down and I'm thinking that that's it with the matter. But something strange happens in that meeting. Once the meeting is done, there's this elderly man, let's just call him Rick. Rick is a very good guy. He's in his late 60s and he's at that point where he's retired. He routinely goes into the hood, the darkest cities, the most gruesome cities, and he teaches people how to write resumes, how to tie ties, how to be professionals. Rick is a good guy. But Rick comes to me and he's like, hey, Arman, I really liked your table topics speech. was like, thanks, Rick. I mean, I was feeling good about that. And he's like, but did you fully believe what you said? I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess. And then he's like, did you ever look at a case for the other side? Did you ever see why there are certain people that are saying that the Holocaust never happened? I was like, no, man, I actually didn't. Then are you fully certain on your position? Still, I was like, well, there's been a general consensus about this throughout my entire life. What are you saying, Rick? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And he's like, Arman, if you give me some time, I could give you some research papers that shows you that the Holocaust never happened. It's a fabrication. It's propaganda from the government. And I kid you not, I'm looking at Rick very spooked out at this point. Thus far, since me and him have known each other, he's been like this mentor for me, especially in the Toastmaster space, because he's been in the club for so long. And now he's one of these guys that is denying the Holocaust ever happened. I was like, Rick, I got other stuff to do in my life right now. I mean, this isn't particularly a field that I am going, if I'm being honest with you, that I'm going to spend a long time researching. So you could have whatever beliefs that you have on the matter. At this point in my life, this isn't something that I'm willing to further investigate. Now, once I saw that video, it just made me realize, this all makes sense why, when you think about it, there's a certain group of people, whenever they rise in a certain field, they begin to rise because they're so well loved. But on the flip side, what also begins to happen is that they start to get swaths of people that dislike them. And by swaths, I'm clearly being hyperbolic in terms of my delivery, because the people that love them far outweigh the people that hate them, but the people that hate them are very vocal. One example is, every now and then, your boy's trying to get fit. I see like different fitness influencers, and I watch their content, and I believe one of the gentlemen's name is Jeff Cavallari or something like that, who, in my opinion, has great content. But if you're a hardcore fitness freak, they call like his hate group calls him like the McDonald's of fitness, that he gives very general advice. But what I noticed is that there's YouTube channels built to literally just critique his work. So he has a lot of love, but at the same time, he has hate. But what doesn't get talked enough about is the opposite perspective. I want you to picture the most hated man on the planet right now. Anyone. It could be a serial killer, it could be a politician, it could be an influencer, whatever. This person has a lot of hate, but one thing that doesn't get talked about enough is that they have a lot of people that love them. And in this case, the lot of people, once again, I may be making a hyperbolic statement where there's not that much in terms of quantity. However, they're very, very vocal. This is why, if you've ever studied up on serial killers, you'll see that, if me or anyone any sane person is picturing like who is a very despicable human being, obviously a lot of us are just going to be like a serial killer, right? But did you know that a lot of serial killers have fan clubs? They have people from all around the planet that's writing to them, that are pen pals with them. This is a human law. It's known as the law of polarity. So overall, what that whole talk in regards to the Holocaust with Rick taught me was that no matter how outlandish you believe a certain belief is, there is a group of people that are fully convinced in it, and vice versa. And before we're like, okay, well, Rick's just an idiot, or this is definitely right, this is definitely wrong, that's not the point of the video. The point of the video is to just have an objective look in terms of human dynamics. Understand that it's not just the rule of that with a lot of love comes hate. The flip side is also true. With a lot of hate comes a lot of love. It's a human dynamic. It's almost as certain in a field as 2 + 2 = 4. So if you enjoyed today's talk and you'd like to learn more about these dark parts of human nature, that once you understand the darkness, it's easier to navigate towards light. If you like these sorts of topics, be sure to join the ArmaniTalks free daily newsletter, which discusses a lot of topics on social dynamics, on public speaking, on dark psychology, and much more. Join the tribe by checking out the link in the description box, the pinned comment, or go on ArmaniTalks.com/newsletter and sign up today. Thank you very much for joining the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you next time.